In the vibrant town of Cape Coast, nestled along the golden shores of Ghana, preparations were underway for the grand wedding of the year. Kwame Mensah, a humble fisherman, was about to marry his beloved, Akosua, a spirited lady known for her beauty, intelligence, and unpredictability. The entire town was abuzz, with colorful Kent cloths adorning the streets and the aroma of freshly cooked jollof rice and wadaki wafting through the air. The ceremony was to take place at the historic Cape Coast Castle, a symbol of resilience and hope. As the sun began to set, casting a warm orange glow over the ocean, guests gathered, music played, and the stage was set for a memorable evening. The ceremony commenced with great fanfare. Traditional drummers set the rhythm, and dancers twirled in sync. The bride, Akosua, arrived fashionably late, as per tradition, dressed in an exquisite Kent dress that shimmered in the evening light. Kwame, standing tall and nervous in his crisp agbada, couldn't help but smile as he saw his future wife approaching. "Here we go, Akosua. It's just a wedding. No big deal, right?" Akosua whispered to herself. "You look beautiful, my love," Kwame beamed. As the vows were about to be exchanged, an unexpected guest arrived. Akosua's old flame, Kofi, who had just returned from studying abroad in Nigeria. Kofi was handsome, charming, and had a way with words that could melt even the coldest of hearts. "Akosua. Wait." Kofi burst into the ceremony. The crowd gasped, and a murmur of excitement spread like wildfire. Kofi, dressed in a sleek Nigerian agbada, strode confidently down the aisle, much to the shock of everyone, especially Kwame. "Kofi? What are you doing here?" Akosua was wide-eyed with surprise. "Akosua, I couldn't let you marry him without telling you how I feel. I love you, and I've always loved you. Don't you remember our time together?" Kofi declared. Akosua's heart pounded. She had always had a soft spot for Kofi, and seeing him again brought back a flood of memories. Kwame, on the other hand, was not about to lose his bride without a fight. "Akosua, we planned this day for months. Don't let this joker ruin it." Kwame stepped forward. I I need to think," Akosua said, conflicted. In a moment of sheer panic, Akosua did the unthinkable. She grabbed the hem of her dress, kicked off her high heels, and ran. She ran down the aisle, out of the castle, and into the bustling streets of Cape Coast, leaving everyone, especially Kwame and Kofi, in stunned silence. The crowd erupted into chaos. Some guests chased after her, while others simply stood in disbelief. Kwame and Kofi, now reluctant allies, sprinted side by side in pursuit of the runaway bride. Akosua darted through the lively Cape Coast market, where vendors were shouting, children were playing, and the smell of street food filled the air. She weaved through the stalls, knocking over piles of tomatoes and yams, causing a domino effect of overturned baskets and irate sellers. "Hey! Watch where you're going," one vendor shouted. "That's my best yams," another cried. Meanwhile, Kwame and Kofi were hot on her trail, but their competition quickly turned into an absurd collaboration. "We need to split up. You go left, I'll go right," Kwame panted. "Agreed. But remember, if I find her first, I'm not letting go," Kofi responded. "Over my dead body," Kwame shot back. As the two men navigated the maze-like market, Akosua found herself cornered near a stall selling colorful beads. With no way out, she did what any resourceful Ghanaian woman would do. She grabbed a handful of beads and tossed them at her pursuers. "Catch me if you can," Akosua laughed. Just as Akosua thought she had eluded both men, a familiar voice called out from behind a stack of fabrics. "Akosua, child, what are you doing?" It was her grandmother, the wise and revered Fwa, who had a knack for appearing at the most unexpected moments. Nana Fwa, I'm so confused. I don't know what to do, Akojua admitted. Come with me. It's time we had a little chat, Grandmother Fwa said. Grandmother Fwa led Akojua to a quiet corner of the market, away from the prying eyes of the townspeople. Meanwhile, Kwame and Kofi were still searching frantically, each convinced that he would be the one to find her. Under the shade of an ancient baobab tree, Grandmother Fwa spoke in her gentle yet commanding voice. My dear, love is not a race or a competition. It is a journey. Both Kwame and Kofi have shown you their hearts, but the choice is yours and yours alone, Grandmother Fwa advised. But Nana, what if I choose wrong? Akojua asked. There is no wrong choice in love, only the path you decide to take. Follow your heart, and it will lead you to where you need to be, Grandmother Fwa reassured her. With newfound clarity, Akojua thanked her grandmother and made her way back to the castle, where the guests were anxiously waiting. As Akojua returned, the crowd parted, revealing Kwame and Kofi standing side by side, both looking disheveled and desperate. Kwame, Kofi, I appreciate both of you coming after me. It shows how much you care. But I need to follow my heart. Kojua took a deep breath. And your heart says? Kwame asked, hopeful. My heart says. I need time. I need to figure out who I am before I can truly commit to anyone, Akojua stated. The crowd gasped again, but this time, it was a gasp of admiration. Akojua had chosen to take a bold step, prioritizing her own journey over societal expectations. We understand, Kwame and Kofi said in unison. Thank you for understanding. Let's celebrate today, not as a wedding, but as a new beginning for all of us, Akojua suggested. And so, the grand wedding turned into a grand celebration of life, love, and independence. The guests danced, laughed, and enjoyed the feast, while Kwame, Kofi, and Akojua embraced their newfound friendship and the promise of future possibilities. In the end, it wasn't the wedding anyone expected, but it was the perfect ending for Akojua, a testament to the power of following one's heart, even when it leads you on a crazy and unexpected path.